Here's a business with 182 photos on its Google business profile. And here's one with 5. One of them is ranked number 1 in this market. The other is ranked number 5. 36 times the photos, 4 positions apart. For this video, every business name has been changed. The data and the rankings, however, are real. I pulled the photo data for every electrician in this market, ran their images through 3 different AI vision models, and what I found didn't go the way I expected. Let's get into it. Most local SEOs seem to agree that the number of photos you post on your Google business profile doesn't really correlate with how well your profile ranks. I decided to test it anyway, to see for myself with real data rather than relying on the conventional wisdom. So I pulled the stated photo count for every business in this market and put it against actual rankings. As one might expect, there's a weak relationship at best between rankings and photos, and it doesn't even run consistently in one direction. So this is a chart of photo count versus rank for this market. All the way down each listing with its number of photos. And look at these. 98 photos ranked 22nd. 68 photos doesn't appear in the rankings at all. 44 photos, 21st. If photo volume were driving rankings, none of this would look like this. And this is the part that really illustrates it. If I group the market into 3 bands by visibility, the middle of the market is actually the photo-richest group. Even more photos than the top performers. So the relationship isn't really a straight line where more photos equals a higher ranking. While I was in there, I checked one more thing. There's a tactic that circulates constantly. Geotag your photos before you upload them. Embed the GPS coordinates in the file and it helps you rank locally. So I pulled 146 actual images off these profiles and looked at the metadata inside of them. 0 of them had GPS coordinates. Not a single one. Now, 87% of them do have some metadata block, but that's not the cameras. That's Google's own re-encoder rewriting the file on the way in. You can actually see its signature sitting there. Only 2 images out of 146 kept their original camera make and model, and even those had the coordinates stripped out. Now, to be fair about what this proves, I'm looking at what Google serves, not what Google receives or collects. It's possible that Google reads these coordinates on the way in before it strips them. But the specific story that a lot of people tell you, that your geotag stays embedded in the photo and then quietly does ranking work for you, that part just simply isn't true. It's gone before anything else ever sees it. So what does hold up? Something weaker and more specific. At the very bottom, the profiles with essentially no photos cluster together. The businesses with literally 0 don't rank at all. But even that's not clean. Here's our target business. 5 photos, ranked 5th in this entire market. 5 photos is nearly nothing, and it's still comfortably in the top third. So the honest framing of this is, having some photos seems to matter. Having more photos past that point doesn't really buy you much of anything, at least in this market. That's the 3rd time in this series a piece of profile advice has turned out to work like a floor instead of a ladder. Okay, so if it's not the number, maybe it's what's in the photos. The natural inclination here is obvious. Show your crew, show your trucks, show real people doing real work. So I had AI classify every photo in the top profiles. Finished work dominates almost every one. The top ranked profiles aren't leading with crews and trucks. They're mostly showing completed jobs. One business does pair heavy crew and vehicle photos with the top spot, but that's one profile, not a pattern. I'll be straight about a limitation here. The tool I'm using caps at 40 photos per business. So for the 3 profiles with deeper albums, I'm looking at a sample, not the whole thing. That's a real constraint on this part of the finding. Now here's where this got genuinely interesting, and it has nothing to do with rankings. To classify all these photos, I ran every one of them through 2 different AI vision models, Claude Haiku 4.5 and Google Gemini 3.5 Flash. Same images, same prompt, same 4 categories. I deliberately matched them on tier so it'd be a fair comparison. I just wanted the work done twice so I could check it. They disagreed on 27% of the photos. Then I found something worse, and it's the real lesson here. I reran the same photos through Haiku a second time, same images, same prompt, and nothing changed. It gave me different answers on 5 of the 8, not different from Gemini, different from itself. Same picture, same question, 2 different classifications, which means that part of that 27% disagreement I was about to report as a finding wasn't a difference between the models at all. It was Haiku being unstable on the hard cases. So I tested whether that's just what AI classification looks like or whether it's fixable. I ran the same 8 photos through Claude's Sonnet 4.6, which is a more capable model than Haiku, 2 times. 8 out of 8, identical both times, perfectly consistent on the exact images where Haiku couldn't make up its mind. So the noise was a model tier problem, not something inherent to the task. If you're getting inconsistent results out of AI classification, that's worth knowing. The fix might be paying for a better model, not writing a better prompt. And here's my favorite one because it's the whole lesson in a single image. Someone measuring for a Tesla charger installation. Haiku looked at it twice and gave 2 different answers. Gemini called it other, and Sonnet said crew at work both times without wavering. 1 paragraph, 3 models, and the only one that gave me the same answer twice was Sonnet. Now, to be fair, all 3 of them have pretty accurate descriptions of the image, but Sonnet has the most accurate, down to the number of inches on the tape measure, which is pretty remarkable. Now, I want to be careful about what I'm claiming here. This is 1 task, 1 prompt, and about 150 photos in 1 industry. It does not tell you which model is better at vision, and I'd be overselling it if I said otherwise. And one of the flaws was actually mine. My prompt said, when you're unsure, choose other. That instruction probably pushed Gemini harder than it pushed Claude, and that's my test design, not necessarily the model's capability. But the practical takeaway holds, and it's why I'm showing you all of this instead of just the clean chart I set out to make to compare the models. If you're using AI to analyze your business, photos, reviews, competitors, or anything really, that output is not ground truth. 2 capable models looked at the same picture of an electrical meter and came to different conclusions. One of them looked at it twice and disagreed with itself. If I'd only run it once with 1 model, I'd have shown you a confident-looking chart and never known there was actually a question. So, to wrap this up, photos are a floor, not a ladder. Post some, but don't obsess over the count. And whatever tool you're using to analyze your business, make sure to check its work. Next up is Google Posts and Q&A inside of Google Business Profiles. Subscribe if you want to see how that one lands. Thanks for watching.